beautiful, delicious, and home. Eat. That's all you need to do in Vancouver. Eat, look at the mountains, look at the ocean, eat. Did I mention eating? Hi, I'm Diana Chan, and I'm a food blogger from Vancouver, British Columbia, and the food blog that I write for is Foodology.ca. So way back in 2010, my friend really loved surfing the internet and looking at different restaurants and different food options in Vancouver. And one day we were sitting down in a cafe and we're like, why don't we start a food blog? I'm like, what's a food blog? All I do is go on like Urban Spoon or Yelp, because I haven't looked at a food blog before, unless I was doing like some random Google searches. And my friend was like, okay, yeah, let's start one, because she was moving away to start medical school, and it was a way for us to really keep being connected. But then when she went to medical school, she got busy. She had to focus on studying. So I took on more of all of the writing. And then 5 years later, here we are. I think when I write food reviews, I'm really writing for myself. Oh, so selfish, I know. But it's just something that I want to look back maybe like a few years from now and be like, oh, yeah, I did go to that restaurant. That's what I ate. That was good. And it's always good for, telling my friends what my food options are. With food blogging in Vancouver, there will always be new food bloggers popping up every year. But what I've noticed in the past couple of months is that there's a lot of food Instagrammers out there. Like every week I can find like 3 or 4 new accounts. They either have like Vancity Food or Vancity Foodie, YVR, Foodsters or something like that. And I think it's just great because it really shows how amazing and diverse all the food restaurants are in Vancouver. I think every day after work, 9 to 5, I go to work, and then I come home, and then that's when all the food blogging happens after dinner. So I would spend like maybe an hour to 3 hours every night just touching up photos, adding like trademarks underneath, or just like trying to think about what I had for dinner at a restaurant like a few days ago. And it's really boring sometimes. It's not all the events. Yeah. Oh, and the food coma. Sometimes it's just too much. And what a phrase that we always have to say is just eat through the pain. Because we always love trying all the different dishes. You just have to try everything. And sometimes it may result in food poisoning. Maybe a few times a year. But that's why we have food blogs, to tell the honest and dirty truth about some places in Vancouver. Okay, so I've been going through like a brunch phase for like the entire year. Okay, so number one I would have to say is Oru, because they have an amazing brunch buffet. Even though it's like a little bit expensive, it's like around $30. But they have amazing like fresh pressed juice, so if you have like 5 of them, you make your money's worth. Because it's originally like $7 on the menu. And they have like a Benny bar, an omelet bar, all these different items, like a big thing of like desserts, and all the berries you can eat. I love berries. Yeah, and they're really nice, because one time it was Mark's birthday and I asked them if they could put something together for him, like just through like Twitter, and they like gave our table like these big platters of like chocolate cake and like random treats. Number 2, it would be La Brasserie on Davie Street. Number 3, it's in Coquitlam, so way further than all the first 2 spots. But it's called like Jimmy's Cafe, and it's like hidden in like this plaza on North Road, and it's just like a Korean little family that just makes like Western breakfasts. And they have really good like black forest bennies, and their hash browns are so damn crispy. I think besides food is probably number 2, but I think number 1 is like friends and family. Without them, you never have those grand celebrations where there's food in front of you. Who inspires me? I think it would have to be my mom. And she also really loves food and cooking food. So when we were a kid, Like, the one thing my friends always said is like, when they came over, it's like, oh, your house always smells like food. And I think it's something that's just been in our family blood for a long time. Eating lots and lots of good food. I would have coffee with my late grandmothers because I feel like I didn't ever spend enough time with them and really ask them hard questions. Because when I was a kid, it's like, give me candy. I never asked them like anything important about the experiences that they've been through and what they really had a passion for. This year, or what's going to happen this year, I'm getting married! I guess 2 years ago when Mark proposed to me, I knew it was going to happen but didn't know when. So we like had dinner with our friends and then we're going to go home. And then one of our friends called us and said that he left his bag in our car. And I was like, oh, that's typical. Didn't think much about it. And then we're like, oh yeah, we're still full from dinner. Might as well give him the bag and then walk around the park. So we were just walking around the park and I was like, oh, look, there's a bunch of Asian people with candles. Aw, maybe one of their friends passed away. And I'm like, why are we walking closer? Nothing occurred to me. Then we keep walking closer and closer and like, we shouldn't walk that way. We shouldn't disturb their little like ceremony or whatever emotional thing they're going through. And then we keep walking closer. Still didn't think anything about it. And then I was like, oh, it's my friends. And then I turned around to Mark and like, oh, he has the ring. I was like, oh no, this is embarrassing. So he was able to like gather a bunch of my friends and propose to me. Last year, I got 2 cats. So I adopted from Brokra 1 cat and 1 kitten. They're a mother and son duo. It's named Mew and Gandalf. And they love eating just like me. They like to eat a lot of treats. Too many treats. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I would like to say I'm very good at video games and board games. We should play sometime.